Little Witch Academia is finally here, and we are the first YouTubers to get our hands on episode 1. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. But anyways, it's been 5 years since we've been waiting for a television adaptation, and it is finally here. So after watching the anime multiple times, is this a good episode? Should you watch Little Witch Academia or should you skip it? Let's find out.
Subscribe to Anime Live Reactions for more. Share this video with your friends.
Hola mi gente, my name is Opai Senpai, and we are the first YouTubers to get our hands on episode 1, and this is one of the most anticipated anime of the winter of 2017, next to Blue Exorcist. Okay, so let me tell you guys whether this is a good anime, whether you should watch this. So every single year in Japan, the Japanese government hosts an event called the Young Animator Training Project, and in 2012, for example, they gave animation studios $2.65 million for them to pretty much hire young animators and put them to work on some anime projects. Again, the Japanese government gave animation studios $2.65 million. You're never gonna see that in the United States, but Japan really cares about its art and its anime, so that's why the Japanese government does this every single year. And Studio Trigger received this anime, and they were awarded $480,000 for them to make one episode of Little Witch Academia. So they created an OVA episode in 2013, and that did incredible. It did really well. So what the studio did is they started a Kickstarter campaign to raise more money for them to create a movie. So they were able to surpass their goal, and then they created a movie, and it did phenomenally well. So now 5 years later, we finally have a television adaptation, 2017. So now let's get into the episode. So the first 10 minutes of the episode starts off just like it did in the OVA. It's pretty much exactly the same. The only differences are a little bit of the clothing is different, the character designs are slightly different, the monsters, and just it's all brand new animation. But in terms of what happens, even what the girl says at the very end before she leaves is very similar to the OVA. So they're pretty much retelling part of the OVA, but as you may know, the OVA is much ahead of the anime. So this is pretty much a backstory and origin story as how our main character basically ended up in the OVA, which then leads into the movies. So our main character is Atsuko Kagari, and she wants to be a witch, but she doesn't really have the powers to really sustain that. So it's gonna be very challenging for her. Now, this other character, her name is Lotte Jansson. She's gonna be one of the best friends for Atsuko Kagari, and this other girl, Susie Mambabaran, which I can't even pronounce her last name, but Susie, she is also gonna be one of their best friends, although I didn't realize how savage she really was. I mean, literally in this episode, she literally tried to get those two girls killed. Like, she tried to get them killed by some monsters in this forest. She is absolutely savage. Luckily, they end up becoming friends afterwards. Now, this is a comedy, fantasy, maybe slice of life, you can consider it. So don't expect too much crazy action. And I will admit that the animation is not as good as it was in the OVA, and obviously not as good as the movie. But when compared to the OVA, the animation and the art style just a little bit lower. But overall, Studio Trigger is doing a fine job in episode 1. And they did a pretty decent job at carrying the episode along. Now, if you did watch the episode, I wanna break some things down because this right here, as our girls were going back to the school, they actually went through this magical portal, and it almost looked like a scene from The Flash when they're going through the multiverse. So we actually have a lot of spoilers coming up, and let me break this down real quick. So as you can see right here, she's going through the portal. And okay, so now we're getting more information. So right there, it looks like somebody's holding a toy. I don't know what that is. And right there, somebody's holding some sort of magic on their hand or a flower. Okay, now there's two girls down there on the floor, and there is a magic broom over there, which obviously symbolizes that our main character is eventually gonna receive that. Now, it looks like that's a diploma or a certificate of maybe passing class or becoming a witch. So that's eventually gonna happen. Now, we have this image of this location that we will see, and of course of the school. Let's continue. Now you have this other building. I don't exactly know where that is. This could be coming straight from the OVA. I'm not quite sure, but we'll eventually get there. Now we have some random images there, and there of course is one of our main characters, of course, but she's holding this weird staff or something. Maybe that's gonna come into a play later, and I have no idea what this is, but I find this very interesting. And this is actually symbolizing right when they go through the portal in the beginning of the episode. Now let's continue. We got a monster there, and we got some sort of weird animal or something there, and I have no idea what the other thing was, but we got a few more things coming up. Okay, so going back, you got a group of girls. Now this girl, she is another main character, and we're gonna see her probably next week. We already saw her in the OVA, but she is a major character. Now that's just a little part of the building. Again, this is like a special broom or a special device. I'm not quite sure what that is. We got something there, some weird writing there. Now this guy, you actually see him in the ending, at the end of the episode, the ending theme song, you see part of him there. But I don't know much about him though, his role, what's gonna play. And you got some thorns there, and you got a few more things there. There's other unknown characters, more unknown characters, a group of witches. Maybe they're gonna do a rebellion or something. We're not quite sure. Now this is pretty big image, so I'm not quite sure what that is as well. And we got a huge explosion, so maybe there's gonna be some sort of villain that's gonna cause a city to get destroyed or something. And of course, this is the girl that our main character looks up to, which, by the way, she is actually secretly hiding in the anime as the person who rescues them. Spoilers in case you didn't watch the OVA. And that's basically it. And then the rest of the episode is just them going to school and making their appearance there, and then they become roommates and blah blah blah, and that's pretty much it. So overall, this episode wasn't that exciting. They could have done a better job at introducing the characters, at just making it a little bit more exciting. So basically, this anime is for those people who have seen the OVA or the movie, who know about Little Witch Academia. You guys are gonna fit right in. But for the new people who haven't seen the OVA or the movie, it's gonna be a little bit tougher for you to really start to like the series. But if you give it a chance, this could potentially be a good series. But again, I really don't know until we see at least 2 more episodes. So I'm gonna give it the 3-episode rule, and after 3 episodes, I'm gonna decide whether I'm gonna continue to do reviews on this every single week or not. Hopefully it lives up to the hype of the OVA, but we'll find out next week. So I hope you guys saw the episode. Let me know in the comments below if you saw it. What you guys probably haven't seen it because we're the first YouTubers to get access to it. But once you do see it, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And after finishing this video, I realized I didn't address the elephant in the room. You guys may have a major question for me, and the elephant in the room is, Oppai Senpai, do I need to watch the OVA and the movie before I start watching this anime? Well guys, my answer to that is no, you don't need to watch the OVA and the movie. Let me explain why. Basically, this anime television series is doing a retcon of the OVA and the movie. Now, while the first half of the episode 1 of the television series is very similar to the OVA first half, it was slightly different, but there are a few major differences. For example, the staff that the girl finds, our main character finds in the forest in episode 1 of the television series, on the OVA episode, she actually finds it in a pile of a bunch of crap and a bunch of other stuff. So that is a big difference from the OVA. And in terms of the movie has its own like internal conflict, whereas the television series, I feel, is gonna focus more on character development and on a different type of conflict within the school. Now, all the characters, all the voice actors and voice actresses are back from the OVA and the movies back into the television series. But again, they're doing like a slight retcon of the OVA and the movie. But another thing I found interesting is that in both the OVA and in the television anime series, the other witches look down at the idol that our main character admires. So the OVA didn't really dig too much into that because obviously that was only 1 episode long back in 2013. But now that we're in 2017 and we're gonna get 12 episodes or so, they're really gonna focus on that and what is the history of this girl and why the other witches dislike her. So that's all I wanted to say, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. In the meantime, make sure you guys watch my review of Jojo Senki. It's an incredible anime. You guys have to watch it. And also Dragon Ball Super, Will the Grand Priest Train Goku? Make sure you guys watch it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.